40inbox.com here, and we're going to be checking out this post on r/personal finance called Younger Sister Bought a $28,000 car with an 84-month loan and a 7.99% interest rate. I know this was dumb, an expensive mistake. My dad and her went to the Honda dealership today and bought a Honda Accord with a $2,000 down payment, which, by the way, at the very least, they didn't finance that down payment, hopefully. She's a junior in college working a part time job making $13.25 an hour. My dad isn't the most financially literate person either, and they both have terrible credit, so he had to co sign. The monthly car payment is $525 a month, and insurance will be about $200 a month. Which, by the way, right, just to put that into like perspective, right? That's what? Let's see. 525 plus 200 equals 725 times what? That's per month, so times 12 equals she's spending about $8,700 a year on just this car, not factoring in gas or maintenance, like at all. So we're talking about that this car is basically just to keep it like usable, basically, it's going to cost her over 10 grand a year, and she's only making 13.25 an hour, right? So what? 13.25, and it's part-time, so maybe 20 hours a week, so times 20 times 4 weeks. So 1060 minus 725 of basically the car payment and insurance means that she only has $335 left over. Now, obviously, I don't know the exact amount of time that she's actually working for her part time stuff, but guess what? This ain't that much margin. Like, you are basically cutting your feet off with like a butter knife and then rubbing salt into the wound. Like, she is in an extremely bad situation. And she's doing this for years. Years. 84 months. How many years is that, anyways? So, what? 84 months divided by 12 months equals 7 years. You're going to do this for 7 years. You're going to be paying a debt off for 7 years. And, I would assume that you would be wanting to, I don't know, maybe potentially buy a home in the future. You can't really do that with really bad debt. Now, hopefully, she would end up making more money, but like this is a really bad situation, like a really bad one. So she can't return it. So I'm just wondering what the best course of action is, if any, to help her and my dad avoid as much of the $18,000 in interest as possible. Edit to add, would it be possible to refinance the loan in my name? I have great credit and don't mind. I know they'll make the payments, but it'd be hard and more expensive. No. Whatever you do, if you stumble upon this video or whatever, never put this car into your name. No matter how much you love your sister and dad, right? I get it. You want to be a good family member, but at the same time, you are putting yourself in a very, very risky situation. Why? Because regardless of how good of a family you are, things happen. And your sister might just, who knows, maybe become like a massive heroin addict and end up basically just completely screwing up her life and not be able to make these payments, and you are screwed over in that case. Or maybe she gets knocked up by her boyfriend or something, ends up eloping, leaves the state or country, and she has no responsibility towards the car. Now, obviously, that's like those are extreme examples, but what I'm trying to get to the point is things can happen and bad things can happen, and you should not be responsible for a car that you're not even going to be using. Now, also, she can't afford this car. She cannot afford this car working part time with that bad of a credit score to the point where she had a cosign to even be able to potentially buy this car. Like she just cannot afford this car. She can't even afford to maintain this car, which is a really crazy situation. Like the best course of action in this situation is for her to one, start to work full time, sell the car, even at a loss, take like a difference in like take the loan, like take a loan for the difference amount to cover like the loss. So like let's say bought it for 28, maybe you'll be to sell it for like 26, lose like 2k right off the bat. Potentially, right? Just take a loan out for that $2,000, or if you got the cash, just pay off the difference and buy a super cheap car. Because for someone at her situation, making the type of money that she's making, working the hours that she's probably working, she needs an extremely cheap car, like a $2,000 car, that is good on gas. Like, that is the only thing that she should be trying to get for a car. Do not put this car into your name. But seriously, think about it. She's spending $725 a month without even driving the vehicle. Like, just think about that. Think about that. $725 a month without even using the thing. That's crazy. That is crazy basically in any situation, but that's crazy especially if you're only working part-time at $13.25 an hour. Let's see some of these comments. If you want to learn how to get debt-free, learn how I got debt-free and grew my net worth, go down below or go to 40inbox.com. So due to the number, okay, she needs to work 54.71 hours in a month just to pay off the car payment and insurance, gas not included. Does she even work enough hours in her part-time job? See, that's what I was breaking down, right? Because I'm assuming like a 20-hour schedule for part-time work, which is typically the hours that you're given for part-time work. She's barely making any extra money. She's got like a $330 spread without even like including gas. But what about her groceries? What about her other bills? Like she's completely effed. $54.71 hours, assuming she lives in a tax-free zone, which doesn't exist because I just made that up, so she's pretty screwed. Agreed. This is a very, very bad financial decision. Like a really bad financial decision. But the good thing is she could just sell the vehicle right now. I did something this stupid once, sell it back to another dealership. I would personally probably do like a private sale and take the loss, get a beater for her instead. Agreed. Tell her to wise up. This is the quickest, most effective route to go here, and it's not even close. The loss will be far more manageable than seeing this loan out. I agree. And again, this is for 7 years. 7 years, only clearing about potentially $300 a month unless you were to increase her hours or income in general. Yes, think of the opportunity cost of not doing more with that money. She is probably borrowing money for college as well. Unfortunate, I agree. Having a 525 payment is, at any rate, college or no college, I pay 4 or 5 and have a decent career. Anything more than that, I'd feel stressed to the brim. Yeah, the thing is, having a car payment of basically any kind is a very bad financial choice. And the reason why I say that is because you are in debt for something that will only go down in value. Other than like really freaky situations, you are basically guaranteed to lose money on your car. Not to mention the maintenance of the car. So you're constantly paying per month for something that will lose you money. This is not the same thing as having like a mortgage for a home, which will appreciate over time, and potentially if you were to sell it, you could end up clearing anywhere from like I think $250,000 if you're single to $500,000 if you are married of tax free income, right? So, just to put that into perspective, like getting into debt, especially for a vehicle that will go down in value, is basically just chopping off your own feet and rubbing salt in the wounds and then basically lighting your feet on fire. Like you are horribly hurting yourself at that point. Seriously, Op went from my dad and sister did something dumb to I want to do something even dumber to help them out. Do not finance your sister's car. Are you willing to make the payments and do the maintenance and pay the insurance as a gift to her now for the life of the loan? If not, then why would you do so if when she runs into financial trouble? Yeah. Feel free to give your thoughts if you stumble upon this. This is a really bad situation. By the way, if you have your own personal finance situation that you want commentary on, feel free to like message us or whatever too, or leave a comment. Like this is like a sad situation. This is like a really potentially bad situation. Like imagine, like the thing is, she doesn't actually even have that $300 spread. Now that I think about it, because this person made a very good point, right? Let's see, where is it? 54.71 hours, assuming she lives in the tax-free zone, which doesn't exist because I just made that up, so she's pretty screwed, right? I was basically working with numbers as if there was no taxes to be paid. Like, she is so screwed in this situation. Like, her only choice is to get rid of this car. She is too poor for this car. That is the reality of the situation.